Hi. So I'm going to go through about 1 to 3 postures of hip openers. I know this is an area that a lot of people struggle with, especially the inner thighs, and I'll just talk you through very softly, very slowly, of how you can place yourself into these postures safely without much effort at all. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start on a block. I recommend you do the same if you do have a block. Now, using a block or a stack of books or a firm pillow or a rolled up towel and stacked two on each other, for most of us, we tend to have tighter hips, especially as the years go on. More issues with our knees, just wear and tear and injury, our lower back. Our whole body starts to change, and we have to adapt, and our joints are not spring chickens anymore, so we really have to take care of them. So using a block raises your pelvis up, and it limits the tension in the muscles, meaning the muscles are working or stretching. And usually where there's tension and a pressure applied on the muscles, there is going to be some sort of sensation, mainly on the painful part. So we always want to start with a pose that we're not holding any tension in the body, we're not holding any pain, we're not building the muscles, or we're not building the threshold. So if you feel free to sit on the floor, as long as your knees aren't high, you're good to go. As long as your knees are either in line with your pelvis or slightly lower. From here, take a few breaths with me. Place your hands wherever you feel fine. Down, up, heart, head to heart, simply in the lap. Really feeling the weight of the hips, the length of the upper body. And from here, we're going to slowly walk forward. So just one hand at a time. Try to keep that upper body upright as much as you can. So if you do have tight lower back and tight inner hips, you're going to find that before long, it's going to be a really hard knot around the spine. If you find that's happening for you, don't go very low. Just stay wherever you can naturally keep that straight spine, even if it's here. Because the further you go, more pressure in your knees, and more pull from that sacrum. And if you have any injuries or just really tight tendons and ligaments, it's going to put a lot of pressure there. And we really want to take it slowly. We want to go with our breath. From here, now I always recommend blocks, always. Bringing the forearm down. Now this is if the body allows it a bit more natural state. From here, maybe a little bit lower if you'd like to. Now I might be going a little fast here, so feel free to slow it down. You can always pause this video. And maybe a little bit lower. Now you can also use the block, one block, or maybe even a stack, like a little building block, to place your forehead on. You want to place it more in a spot where the neck is lengthened, so there's not sort of a crunch or a curl, and the chin is more towards the chest, but without being pressing in towards the clavicle. And then from here, maybe extend the hands, see how that feels. Maybe drop it down a notch. Maybe drop it down a notch. Maybe drop it down a notch. You can come up to the fingers on sort of claws and try to extend the body as much as you can. That helps to pull the length of the arms out, which helps to pull the length of the shoulders, which helps to pull the length of the upper body. And slowly roll up. And the deeper you go into a posture, the slower you need to come out of it. Now, I'd like you to pause the video if possible and switch legs. So you put the one that's behind is now in front. I'm going to move on to the next posture before I run out of space on my phone. And I'm going to go next to the wall. Feel free, especially if you're a little bit more beginner, if you have a little bit more sciatic pain, feel free to do this on your back. Right, so I'm sitting up and leaning slightly to the wall, and you can be flat on your back and just pull the knees into the chest. Okay, so, nice and slow. Get the hair out of the way for now. So we're going to take the right leg and we're going to cross it over the left. And then just relax into it. The spine is straight. The knee is relaxed. You can definitely feel a pull happening into the hip. Ooh, happening into the glutes. Now to make this a little bit tighter, you can press the hands into the ground, or you can slide up, that left. There we go. And if you want to make this even harder, you can try to kiss your shin. And I'm going to slowly take this out. And you're going to try the other side. So here we go. Now I know my left leg is tighter than my right hip. My left hip is tighter than my right hip. So I won't be able to go as far as I did on the right, but what I'm going for is a similar sensation. So you might not get the exact same pose, right, if you had a little cookie cutter, but you're going for the same sensation. So you're going to draw that leg up, and already my heel is way past my mat, but I can already feel it. And I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat, lean. Oh, there we go. That's already a little bit too tight, but we're going to see if we can work with it. Ooh. And once you find something challenging in one part of your body and you're really trying to force it, you'll find that the other muscles of the body try to compensate, and therefore bringing more tension and strain to a part of the body that's not necessary for what we're trying to achieve. Now, just going to fold in fire log. Now, fire log, just imagine that your hip, your knee, and your elbow is folded, and then the elbow is folded on opposite. So you're stacking two logs together. You can also press your hands in blocks or on the floor and raise your pelvis slightly and try to lower that knee down to the floor. And that just offers a little bit more push into the hips. And then from here, we're going to slightly come forward. And I'm going to bring my blocks forward. I know I'm not going to get too far, but go for it if you can. And then we're going to slowly pull back up. Slowly untangle that leg. Oh, maybe for you, it's no issue. Oh, good. And what I see often, is that if those of us who are very flexible in their inner hip, in their groin, in their hamstring, in their calf, they tend to be a little tighter in their quadriceps and their outer hip. So it's sort of, if you're more flexible, inner thigh, back of your leg, so think of this area all the way down, then the area on top tends to be a little bit tighter. So no one is totally inflexible. I've seen someone or a few people that really needs yoga, really needs time. And we'll find a posture that they just do so brilliantly and so perfectly without no effort at all. So no matter how inflexible you think it is, they're definitely postures that you can do as an advance, right? Unless you have an injury. And then we're going to slowly come forward. Now, because there's a little bit more room, there's a little bit more availability in this hip, I'm going to go explore. I'm going to be Nora the Explorer on this one. And from here, since I'm able to get down this far, I don't want to push, I don't want to kind of overuse that tension in the knee or the tension in my hip. I want to try to see if I can extend the upper body a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And maybe take a little rest with my blocks as well. Forehead. You always want to find a nice spot where your chin is in towards your clavicle, not pressing into it, and your neck is long. So no wrinkles in the back of your neck. And this is just perfect. That's super perfect. I think I can go a little bit more, but I think I'll stop the video and then proceed with that. Thank you so much. I will be doing these videos every so often. I have a lot more time on my hands now since of March 20th, 2020. So I'll be sharing a lot more of these videos, just a little bit tips and tricks to help. Some of these will be soft and slow, and others will be really fast and chaotic. So yeah, just a bit of variety. Thank you so much, and bye.